Hey guys, thank you so much for purchasing the Moody Midwest collection. I just wanted to come on here real quick and kind of give you a little bit of a step-by-step tutorial. It's not going to be too long. I'm going to try and do this under 3 minutes so that way you can kind of see how exactly it works. So quickly, if you want to understand how to install the LUTs and the power grades, all you have to do is just come over to the settings. You're just going to drag and drop that folder into your LUT folder. You're literally just going to open that and then you're going to drag it and then you'll hit update list. You'll come over to save, and then when you come over to LUTs, you'll find the Moody Midwest one and all the LUTs will be there, right? Now, when you come to do your power grades, what you're actually going to do is come over to gallery, and then you're going to come over to power grades. You are going to right click on a blank space, click on import, and then you are going to import those two DRX files. So you are going to import Murphy, and then you are going to pop up with Scioto, and then you'll see them pop up in your power grade section. You can create a folder for it if you want to, but I put mine in my own specific one. This is all going to default with the color space working with Sony cameras. That's just because that's exactly what I use. So what you're going to do is come over here. So let's start off with Murphy. We're just going to come over here and drag and drop. You can kind of already see how it instantaneously already like transformed my footage. I'm just going to close and click out of that. And I can scrub through, and anything that I need to change with this, I could be like, oh, okay, like, you know, it kind of gives you a really good base. So if you want to mess around with exposure, let's say, for example, you're like, this seems a little too dark, come over to your HDR wheels and you can increase that global, or you can increase the light. I have a couple of different tutorials on my page on how you pretty much can use some of these tools to the best of your abilities, but this just kind of gives you a little bit of a rundown, essentially walking through. The mid/detail is there to kind of soften your footage. So if your footage seems a little too sharp, you can use that. If you want to disable it, by all means, go ahead. With the white balance, this uses the linear trick alongside using in the gamma space. So what you're going to do is come right over to your primaries. You're going to come over to your color wheels, and you can actually adjust your white balance from this specific region as well. So if I wanted to make this a little bit more colder, I can then just drag and pull this right over here, and now we have a colder image. Now contrast, simple, using in the DaVinci wide gamut space. So the middle gray value is staying at 0.336, and our contrast is adjustable as needed. Log is completely optional. I have this kind of working with colder tones within my log wheels. So if I come over here, you can kind of see how it's within the shadows, and I set my low range and my high ranges for you guys. Feel free to adjust that as needed. And then again, this does work with Kodak 2383 LUT, so this is coming in with the film look. And then once you are finally done, ready to export, you just come over to CST out, and then you can just come over here, enable the one that you want, switch it to Gamma 2.2 if you want to export it to web. If you want to do it with broadcast, you can come over and switch it to Rec 709 or Gamma 2.4. They work. So that is the Murphy power grade. We'll come over to the Scioto. Scioto is a little more complicated. We'll just drag and drop that one over here. It's similar. The only difference is that in this situation, one, I added some noise reduction. If you wanted that, you have a highlight roll off. So if you have images that are extremely overexposed, you can actually just enable that or disable that. This does not have to stay on permanently. Typically, I just like to keep mine on for overexposed images, but you can disable that as soon as needed. And then in terms of the optional, this is optional development. This gives you a little bit of contrast push if you wanted to have a little bit of a grungier look. It comes with a cold pass if you want your image to be colder, and then it also comes with a warm pass if you're looking for a warmer look. There is some split toning occurring right here within your curves, keeping that middle gray value. Split tone is adjustable to the way that you want it to be, so you do not necessarily have to use those values, but they're there for you as well. And then the film negative, because I know a lot of people don't necessarily have dehancer, I tried to find something that would kind of work a little bit well, and I saw that the film negative definitely did assist for specific grades, specific scenes actually. So you can kind of utilize that temperature shift to the way that you want it to be. Same thing with your tint shift, but I'm keeping all those settings off for you guys, so that way you don't necessarily have to have them locked on. In terms of saturation, we're using HSV and HSO specifically, so filmic density, and to also increase those desaturated aspects. They will be working in a linear connection, so that way they can stack on one another and have that full capability as so. Log is actually disabled within this one, same as last time. And then you also have 3 different power windows that you can actually go ahead and rename if you are trying to do some custom grading. This again utilizes a Kodak 2383 LUT, but this time I also blended in my own personal LUT from the Midwest collection, so you can just come over here if you feel like you want to switch this out and change this to something different, like let's say magma. You have the ability to do so, or you can just keep it off however you want. If you want something much more dreamy, turn on that radio blur as necessary, or you can keep it off. So that just covers both of those power grades essentially. Now we're just going to come over to the LUT. This again works across all type of cameras. So in this situation, this is just a standard conversion to Rec 709. If I came over here and turned on my bridgelet, you can use it as is. But at the same time, I would always highly recommend to make sure that you do your adjustments. If we come over here and we are going to switch around with this red footage. So let me just quickly swap over and just delete this, change this to red log G310, and then kind of mess around with these exposure values. This is again with the bridge look. If we enable and disable that, it works as is. So you must do a Rec 709 conversion first before you go ahead and do anything else. Gonna come over here, switch this over, and again we'll swap this out. This is Alexa footage that this was shot on an ARRI Alexa. So coming over here, we can do that. Let's say I wanted to use matrix because I want to put them in a matrix mode. We could come over here, swap that over to matrix, and now that is the look that we are getting from that. So there are many different ways to also use this Moody Midwest package, but I absolutely love the looks that I was able to create from this alongside with the different power grades. So if you guys have any questions, feel free, please do not hesitate to shoot me an email. You can email me at this specific link that I will pop up on the screen, or feel free to DM me on Instagram if you have any questions as well. Other than that, thank you again guys so much for supporting, and I will see you guys in the next video. Take it easy.